We started Platinum Horse Sales in 2021, which was not. It took a lot of convincing me for me to start an online auction. I mean, I make everything I have is from being on a microphone, being a live auctioneer, and that's what I believe in. I think there's a lot of times that, when you put that competitive environment in it and you let 2 people bid on a horse, 3 people, 4 people bid on a horse, you never know what they can bring. And I think we box ourselves in a lot. And just based off of our past experiences, we know best, Well, you don't know what they're looking for, and 2, you don't know their budget.
Welcome back to the Wealthy Cowboy Show. I'm Crockett Crothers, your host, and today we have Cody Shelley on. I know Cody from calf roping back when I rodeoed and through college and stuff, and now he has an auction company, and we're going to get into all that. How's it going?
Good, sir. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about where you came from. I know you roped, and that was a big part of your life. Did you grow up as a kid? Did your family do that, or where did all that come from?
Yeah, my dad trained and showed horses all his life. Mom's taught school her whole life. I grew up in southern Oklahoma the most part of my life, but we moved all over. Naturally, Dad being a horse trainer, we kind of went wherever he was working. But spent a lot of time in Sulphur, Oklahoma. Then moved to Pennsylvania for a short stint, and then back to Comanche where I kind of grew up. But yeah, Dad roped, and that's kind of all I thought I was supposed to do.
Yeah, and were you like most people that was your dream, was to rope for a living?
Absolutely. That's what I was going to do. I was going to rodeo for a living, just like a lot of people.
Yeah. It's been several guests on here. That's been of course I had Tyson on here, which actually got to do it, but several guys, that was their dream. And me too. It's just like, I went to college, just college rodeo. I didn't think I'd ever do anything else, and wasn't winning enough. So had to figure something else out.
Yeah, I went to college to get my mom's degree and to rodeo. And I got her degree, but haven't used it much since then.
Right. Yeah, made a lot of connections and friends and everything through college. But I mean, mine's in animal production, and I do ranch a little bit, so I guess it ties in. But
mine's in business management, but I didn't go to class much, so yeah. I didn't take a whole lot away from school.
Yeah, I could have if I would have been. I've learned a lot more out of college because I'm intentional with my learning now, as opposed to showing up to class and not caring or not going to class.
Yeah, that's the discussion we're having with my little boy right now. He's going through in school. What do you want to do? Where are you going to college? What major are you going to study? And we're having that discussion with him now. Is that the path you want to go? Which right now he wants to be a cutting horse trainer. So we don't need any college. And we had our budget sheet out the other day, and we're going through our financials, and he's figuring out that it's going to be pretty tough to make money. So maybe he'll end up at college.
So how did you go from roping and rodeo cowboy to auctioneer and the auction business?
It's something I always played with. My grandpa, I goofed off with him in the truck and played with it, and it's something I always, sold the local pie auction or did the FFA auction at school. And it's something I always played with, but roped good, but didn't rope good enough to go rodeo. Had always had good horses, had one, and he was getting older, and that's I sold him in 2012, and that's kind of when I went to work.
Yeah.
And it's something I always had a passion to do, probably more so a passion for that. Had I worked as hard at roping as I do, now, things could have probably been a little different, but it's something I've always been interested in. And it didn't take a lot for me to want to work at that. It was easy for me to want to go learn and improve and gain as much knowledge as possible.
So that was in your family. He was a auctioneer?
Just when I'm first generation. He just would go to sale barns and things of that nature. And being in the horse industry, my dad would go to horse sales from time to time, but I mean, nobody in my family's ever been in the auction industry per se, but it's something that fit, and I enjoyed it, and just, it was easy to want to go do.
Yeah. And what was your progression? Did you have to go to school and do all that?
I was working a little bit before I went to auction school. In the state of Texas, you've got to go to auctioneer school and go through an 80-hour course, take a test to be licensed in the state of Texas. And I knew I wanted to work in Texas, so I went ahead and did that. Started working the ring a little bit at some of the auto auctions in 2012, which is right out of college. I was working a little bit, picking a little bit of work up here and there, just when somebody wasn't available to be there, but really kind of started a schedule of being at a certain place, a certain day. And 2012 is about when I kind of started working the ring. And then it progressed into, you work the ring, and back in those days, there were a lot more cars going through the lane. So they would let the younger guys, they would get up and sell what we call reruns, which would be the cars they didn't sell the first time through, just rerun them back through the building as fast as you can so we can all go get our checks and go to lunch. But
Yeah.
So did that, and a few guys noticed, hey, he may have some talent, and so it just kind of progressed. By 2013, I was driving 2,000 miles a week, probably not making a lot of money, but those were the jobs that were available at that time. Until, now my schedule is Dallas, I work 7 sales one week and 6 one week, all within the Dallas Metroplex. And I'll be behind the microphone about 375 times a year now. So,
and you kind of have a different progression than everybody else I know that auctioneers. It's usually, they're going to auctioneer and go to the cattle sale or the horse sale or something like that. And what got you into the cars and the equipment and stuff? It
was the same time I was high school rodeoing. One of the guys that really, really helped me and probably helped me more than anybody, his name's John Gary Collins. His son was a year younger than I was. And I would wear him out at the high school rodeos, just talking to him, wanting to know more. And so he kind of is the first. I didn't really understand there were auto auctions. I knew there were horse sales, and equipment sales and things of that nature. But at that time when I kind of came in, it was just perfect timing. They were adding lanes all throughout the countries. There were tons and tons of cars to sell. But the auto auction side is kind of where it was my availability. There's not as many, and now there are even less horse sales than there were. But I mean, when an owner of a company hires his staff, he's going to hire the best he can because he's working off commission. So he's going to hire the best in the business. So very few opportunities that way, but there was an opportunity for me to get on the auction block several days a week in the auto auction industry.
I got you. And I saw, I don't know, on Snapchat or on Facebook or something, like some of those auctions you get to work and it's high dollar cars, and
I'll sell anything from a $300 car this week to $700,000 or $800,000 McLaren.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of everything, different days and different consigners, they run their niches in different price level cars, but yeah,
you get to see a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Do you have certain sales that you like to work? I mean, you get paid, I guess, commission, right? On what you sell? Not
at the auto auctions. It's day rate at the auto auctions. And most of the sales I do that aren't our own or purebred cattle industry is still based off a percentage for most of them that you do. But most everything else is a day rate now.
Okay. Are you involved in the cars and all that? Did you develop a passion for learning about that industry?
I have, and had some good opportunities and have played the wholesale game. And, I kind of know what the market's doing. There's guys that know it way better than I do. I don't study it, but I mean, I know when a car's too cheap, and there's times that I've, made income buying and selling trucks. And that's I know it a little better than I do the high end cars, of course, but, and there's a lot less risk in a dually truck than there is in a $700,000 McLaren.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I dabble in it, but it's, if I don't find it passionate, I don't have much try.
Right.
So, yeah, I can get uninterested pretty quick.
So how was that? You progressed from kind of chasing that and getting involved, and now y'all started your own business, right? Mm-hmm. And that's Platinum Auctions is what you call it? Yep,
Platinum Auction Group. So in 2021, I believe, 2021, we started Platinum Horse Sales. It was getting to work in the Dallas marketplace is probably the best one of the best marketplaces in the country for an auto auctioneer, and I can't work any more days a week. There's only 365 days a year. I probably can't charge them any more than I'm charging at this point. And it's just it was a glass ceiling. I mean, I'm not unhappy with what I'm doing, but I wanted something for us, and I wanted the opportunity for more growth. Like I said, they have car auctions Tuesday through Friday. Can't work any more days a week, and I can't charge any more money. So if I want to grow, I've got to go do something else. So we started Platinum Horse Sales in 2021, which was not, it took a lot of convincing me for me to start an online auction. I mean, I make everything I have is from being on a microphone, being a live auctioneer, and that's what I believe in. The finest assets in the world are sold at live auction, and they always will be. There's no replacement for it. But there is a need for marketing in different avenues, and I just wanted to create a different stream of revenue for our family, and we sell 300 to 400 horses a year on that, with Platinum Horse Sales. And then towards the end of 22, we got the opportunity to sell Carol Rose's equipment. She had sold a place to the neighbor, and they asked us to sell all the equipment, her final dispersal. And when we did that, it was just kind of like, hey, we can do this too. And I had worked for several different equipment auction companies. I managed a staff for one that was based out of Fort Worth. And I knew the process, and I always thought I was the most important person there, being the auctioneer. But it's taken us, the equipment auction company we started last year, only had 2 sales, but we did them both in Stephenville. Jeremy Barwick, that owns Western Bloodstock's a partner in that company, and we did 2 sales there. And the first one, we were just running blind. I mean, I knew the processes. I knew what we needed to do. We didn't really have our platform set up and ready. And our first sale did $2.2 million. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? Now all the work begins. You know, I'm used to showing up with a start shirt on and getting a check and leaving. Now there's a lot more to this now. This is actually a lot of work. But, going back to why we did that, during COVID, I didn't work for 3 months because they shut all the auto auctions down, which was perfect timing. We had just moved to Burleson in 2019, so we worked on our place a lot. I did a lot of the fencing. That's why we're going back and redoing all the fencing now. So I'm getting to pay for it again for somebody to come actually do it the right way. But I just wanted more, and wanted more time. I was just trying to buy some of my time back too. My kids are now 8 and 14 and very active and busy, and being gone that much. I mean, for a while, I would stop in and grab a bag, take a shower, and work Friday and in Tulsa, and get on an airplane, leave and go somewhere all weekend, get home Monday, regroup, and leave on Tuesday. And that's just wasn't a lifestyle I wanted with kids.
Yeah, I was similar in that also is the opportunity. And I think a lot of people look for opportunity more than just what they're getting compensated. Even like, it feels good to be able to be somewhere that you can grow and in a culture that you like, and cowboying and just all of that I was doing was the same way. It was like a lot of time I was just working all the time. Same thing, come in the house, sleep, get up before everybody else was up, and be gone before daylight, and coming home at dark, and then riding some more horses after dark and in the arena and all that. And it was like, this is not sustainable. Right. And especially having a cowboy job, I was doing all that. Plus I wasn't making enough that I wanted to make. So that's what I had to go look for, more opportunity. And I knew I was capped out there. You can only do so much off your back and in your case, your voice. But I pursued something else, and like becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business owner, getting into sales, whatever it is, like there's a lot of opportunity. There's no cap on what you can do, kind of. If you own a business that sells a product or service in the Western or ag industries, and you want that business to grow, go to the link down below, fill out the form, and we'll see if you qualify for free social media marketing.
I'm not there to that spot that I wanted, buying back my time yet. And we're getting closer.
And you're in the building phase too right now.
So we're still building, and we've got a lot of opportunity to grow, and we've got some good things coming, and a lot of stuff that we're excited about. But we're just in that spot right now where there's no time. Like I'd messaged you back, and we had talked in general, like, I'd love to go do that. And then I had a load coming in and didn't have anybody to unload it. I'm like, man, I hate to cancel, but. And then the next thing I look up and I'm like, it's been 2 months. And I'm like, well, when did I have a day off? I haven't. So that's what I told you. I'll make time to come do it. Just to be a part of it. So
yeah. It's hard. Like you think you don't have any time, but like if you just set it up, then you'll where you go do it, kind of commit to it.
Yeah, I had to make sure that my wife put it on her calendar. That way I would go do it. Yeah. I always have to check with her.
I'm the same way with Shady. I'm like, do we have anything going? Somebody just asked me to go work or go do this or that. And then yeah or no or whatever, Mm-hmm. I'm pretty terrible about keeping track of it. I know my stuff, but it's hard to keep track of the whole families now. And that's another thing. Like, starting a family, it gets you thinking, like you said, you want to buy back your time and spend as much time as you can with your wife and your kids. And you definitely want to be somewhere that allows that.
Yeah, I mean, and for me as a contract auctioneer showing up to the auto auctions or a horse sale or wherever I may be at that day, no matter what I think of my son or daughter, and we can work all we want at making them a great auctioneer, but nothing says that somebody's going to give them an opportunity. Nobody, you don't just because they're my child doesn't mean they get to step into my shoes in the auction industry, because there's a lot of people that work their tail off to be next in line and be next available. So I just wanted a sure shot for my kids. And if I keep creating businesses that they can be involved in, and I know for a fact they'll at least have an opportunity there.
Right. So going back to the horse auction, how does that platform work, being online and all that?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up, my dad training horses, selling horses, and we always sold horses private treaty. I mean, we never really took anything to the auction. My dad would buy a couple horses a year at the horse sales, but generally sold everything at home. Being rope horses, they want to come rope on them. They want to try them. And so our platform works in the consignor keeps the horses at their house. Buyer's responsible for shipping. We put them on our online platform, and they have the opportunity to go try them, call and ask about the horse, see if it's a fit of theirs, and something they're wanting. And for me, it's an online competitive marketplace with a private treaty feel. My number's not on there on the horse. You call the source, talk to them. They can represent that horse way better than I can. Go try them. Like I said, buyer's responsible for shipping them. We sell them all online. It's amazing what people will do online nowadays. Yeah. I mean, they're just so comfortable with clicking buy it now, and it'll be shipped to their house, and I never in a million years would have thought that that'd be possible. Right. We would sell horses for the amount of money that we've sold horses for. And some of these people have never even called the consignor. They call me, hey, what do you think? Sounds like it'd be a perfect fit for you. Okay. All right. And here they go, and it's just, but but I was watching Cody Porterfield's episode. Cody's one of the guys that just a funny story for him. I called him. He had consigned 3 horses, I think, our second or third sale. And I called him. I said, hey, have you had any calls on that horse? And back to kind of, you never know who you're going to sell horses to. He said, I had this lady call, and she wanted to know if I thought this mare would work for a mounted shooting horse. I'm like, well, I ran an ad on a different guild and on the mounted shooting Facebook group, but okay, well, what'd you tell her? He said, I told her the first shot would not be any trouble, but be that second and third shot, getting those shots off, maybe a little trouble with this mare. I said, well, you ran off our Clyde. He said, well, I was just wanted to be honest with her. And I thought that was hilarious, but you never know who you're going to sell horses to nowadays, especially when you have an online reach, and the best horses in the world for the most amount of money will always be sold live. I mean, there's no replication for that. That's what I do for a living every day. But I just created a business to, one, provide a service, and 2, create income for our family. And but they stay at your house. Yet we charge a catalog fee and a consignment fee, but you don't load up and go to the horse sale for a weekend. You don't have a hotel. You don't have to worry about the horses you're at home riding, not getting rode, or hiring somebody to come feed. I mean, it simplifies the process a little bit, and it's been great for us. We sell 300 to 400 horses a year.
It sounds like a good hybrid. Like you said, they can call the consignor, they can go try the horse if that's available from the consignor, and kind of almost, like you said, get that private treaty feel. Yeah,
and we're all susceptible to just like Cody's. She was a mare that probably wasn't going to make it as a cutting horse, but a nice mare. Who would have thought that somebody that is looking for a mounted shooting horse would be interested in a horse? And I think we box ourselves in a lot. And just based off of our past experiences, we know best, Well, you don't know what they're looking for, and 2, you don't know their budget. And I think there's a lot of times that, when you put that competitive environment in it and you let 2 people bid on a horse, 3 people, 4 people bid on a horse, you never know what they can bring. Well, you price them. So, all right, I want $25,000 for this mare. Well, 4 people love her and they have a budget of $40,000. You get the opportunity to maximize, your time and effort that you spend in that horse, rather than just, they have a bigger budget, and why don't you give yourself the opportunity to maximize on your returns and put them somewhere where there can be a competitive environment, rather than, I love the horse, I would have gave 40, but you only had her priced at 25.
Yeah. A lot of times we just limit ourselves. I
think, and it's just human nature. I mean, we
all
know what we know.
Yeah, we go off our beliefs instead of somebody else, and then also you judge you're going to judge your buyers, and your buyers are going to judge your sellers. If you price a horse at 25 and they've been looking at horses for 40, it may be a better horse, but they're not even going to come try because they think something's wrong with it or it's not good enough for them or whatever.
Yeah, and I bet not every sale, but several times a year I'll have somebody message me, "Hey, I was going to buy that horse. I need you to take it out of the sale." I'm like, "Well, you had the opportunity to buy the horse. We had one in our last sale. It was a Gruyere mare that was outstanding, and they were going to buy her for, I think, 18 or 20,000 or something. She brought 34,000. And you see it happen time and time again. One, you should have bought her, and two, now you're going to have to compete. And I love seeing, people turn the reserves in. We want 10 or 12. We'd love to have 15. Their horse bring 40. I mean, that makes me feel good.
Right.
That's because some people, this is a hobby too, but a lot of people, that's how they make their land payment for the year. That may be enough to finish their barn. That may be enough to finish their arena, or it may be enough to pay some credit card debt. And we take everything serious like that because I've been in that situation. Hey, I need to sell this horse. Yeah. I need to sell Big Chief back in 2012 to pay off the credit card debt from going to rodeo in the year before, and we ended up getting him back when he was older, but it was hard on me, and it bothered me for a long time that after everything he had given me, and here I'm out of money, so go be somewhere else, and that bothered me, and I got him back. But my little boy ran one calf on him, and he caught, and that's the first one he had caught, and not a great story, but the horse had a heart attack right after he caught the first one. I was just like, man, I hate that, but that's pretty cool. It's meant to be. So
yeah, it's cool that they go out, doing what they love. A lot of those horses, they love their job. Mm-hmm. So is that auction? What's the timeline on those auctions that y'all run?
We and the beauty of online, we can move them up or down or over. We do our very best not to be on top of another auction, just out of respect for everybody else. But I mean, we generally start them on Saturday mornings at 8:00, and on Sunday at 1:00 they start ending. And when we started the horse sale, there was a lot of activity early morning, everybody excited. Well, there's more platforms out there now, and I'll be a nervous wreck. And then about 12:00 on Sunday, here they come, and I'll have consigners that get nervous, and I'm managing expectations, and hey, it's going to be okay.
Having to deal with people calling you.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get there yet. I've had plenty of phone calls. You've had plenty of phone calls. It's going to take care of itself, but we generally leave them open for less than 48 hours, but we've had some that are one day, and our next sale in July. One of the consigners there's got a big event on Sunday, and he's got probably 25 head of horses. So we're going to move it up, start it on Friday and end it on Saturday night. I mean, everybody has access to a phone, and generally don't ever put it down now. So we can reach them, and we'll have anywhere from 600 to 800 registered bidders per sale, somewhere, some more, some less, but it's pretty tough to get that many people in one place at one time for a horse sale. So, I mean, and we usually 35 to 70 heads is about what we normally offer.
And so it sounds like y'all's main thing on that, with it being online and you're not having to get up there and auctioneer and do all the talking and be the face. It's a lot of marketing is y'all's job. So, and it's online. So like, did you have knowledge in like social media and websites and marketing and all that aspect?
Zero. I've deleted Facebook 4 times throughout my Facebook hiatus. Just get sick of it, or be scared what I'm going to say, and just, I choose not to comment. Yeah. 99% of the time. And so I've been the guy who deleted it for a couple of years and then got it back. And, but no, I mean, I'm a marketer of horses. I'm not an auctioneer. Our job is, I guess in any business, is to create a transaction. My goal is to sell it for as much as I can, and the purchaser's goal is to buy it for as cheap as they can, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle and create a transaction, and everybody be happy. But yeah, I mean, we have sought out really good people that do a great job with social media marketing, and I mean that's the majority of our marketing is that, and just over the last few years building our database of people where we can reach that customer.
And are y'all are y'all's bidders and buyers and consigners? Like, is everybody just nationwide, or y'all target certain areas?
I mean, we've sold horses to Italy, the Netherlands, Puerto Rico. We send a lot of horses to Mexico. Our first sale, and naturally nervous this could be, we sold one to the Netherlands, one to Puerto Rico, and one to Hawaii. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now how do we get them there? You know, but it's amazing where all the horse people are in the world. And
when you saw those sales come in, were you like, is this a scam? Or
at first, very much so, very much so. When I see something funny like that, I'll make a phone call, you know, just to verify that we're good. But we're fortunate that we've got great customers, both consigners and buyers, and a lot of repeat on both sides.
Yeah. What about, do y'all target different disciplines, or y'all kind of just sell anybody wants to put one in there?
I would say we sell anything, but I mean, everything comes in through an approval process. I mean, I'm going to lay my eyes on everything. And I think that's a way that we've mitigated a lot of our risk. We're pretty picky about what we sell. I don't ever want to turn away business, but I don't want to get a phone call that they're not happy with their horse. And out of all the horses we've sold, maybe one or two people have called me and said, hey, this horse wasn't what it was supposed to be, or, you know, and one of those instances, they never called, they never checked, and the horse was exactly what it was representing. The other one wasn't, and those people don't do business with us anymore. So, but I mean, we predominantly cutters, cow horses, rope horses. We've had really good luck with barrel horses. We sold a racehorse off the track in the last sale. Probably going to go to a different discipline, probably going to be a barrel horse, but a little bit of everything. We'll sell some trail horses and stuff, but that's mainly in that cutter, cow horse, rope, barrel horse genre.
Yeah. Are you, so like when you're screening them, are you traveling around looking at them, or
no, we don't. I make them send me pictures and videos, and I do my very best job to get them to go get good professional pictures. Let's represent them to the very best of their abilities, where people can actually see, you know, what you're trying to sell. And I'll have a conversation on the phone, and if I don't feel good about it, you know, I just simply tell them I don't know that we have the right marketplace for them. So yeah,
that's good. I mean, sometimes you just got to turn people away.
Yeah, and you hate to, but I don't want to do this for 2 years. I want to grow this into something that we can do and trust the process.
Yeah.
You know, for both buyer and seller, and for us.
And I think it's very easy to get a bad reputation. You've sold all these horses this whole time, and like you said, you sell the wrong horse to the wrong person, and they can get out there and run you down and
absolutely
run people off. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they say that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and there is. I mean, we've had some, you know, people upset about some brood mares that we had for sale that were a little underweight. That's the way that it was hot it'd been 2 summers ago. They weaned big babies off of them. And I mean, they were not in bad shape at all. I mean, but it got to running on one of the barrel horse forums, and I was like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And it was good publicity. They all got in the right hands, and they all went to absolutely great homes, and they brought a lot of money. So, you know, you're scared to head that off, but at the same time, you don't want, you know, and a lot of people came to our defense, you know, that we weren't representing those horses that way. That's just the way, you know, and I mean, they were 15 to 18-year-old barrel mares that had produced a lot, and some of them race mares, and it was hot, you know, and so, but yeah,
and it's not always on y'all either. I mean,
and that's what a lot of people said. You know, we're just a marketing agency. You know, but in that case, I was like, oh no, what are we going to do? This is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And then by that happening, those mares brought a really good amount of money for those mares, and they all went to really good homes.
Yeah,
so.
That's good. What about getting into the equipment and starting that side of it?
Yeah, always been a passion, just didn't have time for it. I was too busy going to the car auction. And last year I took Thursdays off to gain some of my time back, quit 2 car auctions to go give me some time to get this off the ground. And it's just another stream of revenue for us. And it's just, I love the auction industry. It's provided me everything I have. And we we saw a need for it. Stephenville was our first location there at Jeremy's place on 377, and the traffic's crazy down that road, and hasn't been an equipment auction in that area in quite some time. And it's been really good. And since then, we've had one at Cleburne, and we have one at Collinsville June 1st, and just now starting to get some traction of, company sellouts and ranch sellouts, and we want to branch into the real estate world. But it was just, I knew we could do it after we did Carol's. Carol's was, the advertising that you received just off of selling Carol Rose's equipment was crazy. I'd never seen that much interest in anything we had done. Mm-hmm. But it just it was that, it showed us we could, and not that I was scared. I just didn't take the time to go do it, and it opened my eyes that, hey, I can go do this, and maybe we should.
Yeah. What are y'all like, are y'all focusing on certain types of equipment, or just kind of any kind of farm and ranch?
Yeah, mainly farm and ranch equipment in that Bluffdale area. And that's like, I was pretty concerned with our last sale. It was really wet in April, and I was like, it's not going to be very big. And I was like, well, if you had equipment in the Dublin, Stephenville, Bluffdale, Toller area, and you wanted to sell it and you brought it to us, we've already sold all the equipment in this area. And then we ended up having our biggest sale, 840 lots, and predominantly farm equipment, but trucks, trailers, tractors, dozers. I mean, we'll take about anything, but I say that, and then I get scared to say that we'll take about anything, because there's some stuff that it's not good for us to take it, and it's not good for you to bring it. Right. I mean, I don't want to sell your used tires. I end up hauling them off at the end. But predominantly in that farm and ranch type industry. Not a lot of yellow iron, but I mean dozers and excavators and things of that nature. Yeah, we've got a good marketplace for that.
Yeah, and I've been to some auctions, in that it's funny, like you're talking about the horse deal, the competitive, like getting that competitive environment, that stuff. You think sometimes you can go get, I'll trade on some kind of feeders or whatever I can, something that I know about and what it's worth, like you were saying earlier, and you go to those auctions and it'll bring more than it costs new.
Yeah, our first sell at Stephenville is that was the first kind of aha moment I'd ever had. Is I'd hired all my buddies to work for me. I was an auctioneer, and I was on a different side of it. And we try to get started, and we can't even get up close to the first lot. There's so many people, and like 2 or 3 lots in, there's these concrete feeders that are not new, and 4 miles down the road you can buy them for $180, and they bring $550 a piece. And I was just like, okay, here we go. It's going to be a good day today. And but that was one of the probably the highlight of my career, and was just getting to sit back and watch kind of something I'd had a part in just run itself, and not have a hold of the microphone and not have control, and that was really hard for me. So that was I enjoyed those $550 concrete feed bunks.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know there's a bunch. I don't know. It seems like the auctions are getting bigger. There's a big one at Goldweight that's close to us, and then I know there's one at Crawford, and they're scattered out. Is it competitive going out and finding that equipment, or how do y'all do that aspect of it?
Social media marketing. We still put out flyers there around town in the local. I'm bad to stop at the coffee shop at 6:30 in the morning and see who's in there and hand flyers out, because I know those guys are the guys, one, that are still going to go to a live auction. Yeah. And they've got assets to sell. So we still put flyers out, but we really just advertise on Facebook, and I think we had around 190 different consigners at our last sale. But it's a lot of the social media marketing. That's you can reach a lot of people in a short amount of time by not spending a lot of money with the social media marketing.
And the same way with finding the buyers.
Yeah, and we advertise. We use several different online platforms. We use ours as well, and we encourage them to use that. But we sell. There's several pieces from the last sale going to Mexico and shipped a Baylor to New Hampshire, and I mean it's unbelievable what you can do on the World Wide Web, and how in the world they find you, and why they chose to buy that Baylor out of all the Baylors in the country, buy one in the center, north central Texas to ship to New Hampshire. So, but I was glad they did.
You don't think they have any up there?
Yeah, I was glad they did.
How has that been? So, like, do those? I know a little bit from the credit card processing side, like the Wave bid and Proxy bid and all that. Do those platforms, do they help y'all advertise too? Like, can people go on there and see what auctions are coming up or something?
Yeah, I mean, they can go on there, and they will help you advertise for a fee. You can buy whatever you want. You can run on their platform, and you can also spend some advertising on their platform as well.
Right.
And that's that. I get the opportunity to see a lot of people, what they've been through just through the auction business, and it's a super tight knit community. I've got guys I can call all over the country. Hey, this worked for you, that worked for you. Don't do that. We tried that, but there's a large conglomeration that has bought those big platforms for their marketing, and we're essentially building their platform every time we have an auction on there, and they're building their database.
Yeah, collecting all the info.
They take all the info. They're building their auction company off the back of auctioneers.
Yeah.
So they're a necessary evil, but we try to push everybody to our platform. We want to harvest your data where we can utilize it appropriately and target you when we think we have something you'd be interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a huge deal. I've realized in marketing and sales and business, listening to everybody, and the number one thing everybody says to do is build your email list, build your contact list, and then you can remarket to those people when you have more sales or whatever industry you're in. And like you said, that's what Facebook is. That's what all the social media is. They're collecting everybody's data, and they can redistribute it and make money off of it through whatever company that wants it or whatever it is.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that's a part owner in one of the online platforms, and they make their revenue is way larger based off of selling their data than it is providing the service that they provide now. But they've been doing it for 15 or 20 years, gathering all this information, and now they can sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. We were just talking about that earlier. Like if you don't want people to track you, like you're pretty much you're gonna have to not have a phone.
Option, yeah.
You can't have social media. You're gonna have to be completely disconnected.
Yeah.
So now, I know you're wanting to buy your time back, but you're also building a company, which takes up a lot of time. But are you getting any time to rope and spend that time with your family? And
I don't get to rope, nor do I. I don't have the desire anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I will, and it's fun that day, but then I'm sore the next day, and so that's not any fun. And if I was going to go enter somewhere, I want to win.
Right.
I don't want to go just hang out. So but you've got to practice if you want to go win now. And he's not young anymore. I'd sent a young horse to Logan Harkey, and he had him for a little bit, and I brought him home. I'm like, I'm going to go this roping, and I'm just going to ease in there, and I'm just going to go tie 3 down. Well, I win the first round accidentally. So then I don't know what took over. So then I was just going to win the roping, but didn't win the roping, made the short round and placed in the average. But I was so sore the next day, and I'm like, I haven't entered since. I'll break away some at home just to see if I still can. But
yeah,
it's not a desire. And my little boy's cutting now, and so if they have one, we're going to be there. So I get the opportunity. And before we started, I was telling you, like I had a nonprofit in Tulsa on Saturday night. I finished at 9:30 and drove all the way from Tulsa and watched him show in Graham. So all the junior rodeo parents that complain about it taking all day and getting home late, we get home at 5, and then we had to go do it again the next morning. So yeah, but we're enjoying it. He loves it. He's ate up with it.
Yeah, that horse show is a little different than rodeo. It's like going and watching Shady or something, and the ones I've been to, it's like a lot of waiting around, and it's just Same thing over and over, which you could say the same thing about going and watching a roping, I guess. But when you're entered, it's not as bad.
Yeah, my little girl, she's just kind of figuring it all out. She knows to take a chair with her, and then her question is, how many more sets are there? That's she's starting to figure it out. If we start getting down to one set, we know we're all right. We've been loping for a while now. We're probably going to show, and then we can go home.
Yeah, and it's what hurts the cutting so much. Like, we like to go watch the finals. I love watching the cutting, but like, they got to go in there and settle the cattle for an hour or whatever it takes, and it's just like a whole dead time. And then when the action's happening, it's very entertaining.
It doesn't take very long either. Yeah.
It's just that whole dead time. How did he get into that? Like, how did y'all?
He had mentioned something about it, and I bought a mare I guess it would have been in 22, and I bought a real pretty mare that we were going to breed and let him show, because he showed some interest. That wasn't going to work, so I showed her a little bit, and I showed her at 3 shows, and I won one, so I quit. We sold her, and I quit. So, but
go out on top.
Yeah, I mean, we had no idea what we were doing. That looks cool, and I want to do it. And we've got a really pretty mare, so we're going to go do it. And I ended up selling her, but he showed an interest, and he likes it, and he went to the kids' Bible camp at Bosque last year, and just he's ate up with it now. Mm-hmm. So.
Is he going and to like trainers and learning?
Yeah, all Christmas break we bought him mare at the fraternity, and he went to Paul Hansman's all Christmas break. Every day it seemed like that's what he wanted to go do, and he'd get to Paul's, and Paul would put him on 4 or 5, so he thought that's the way it was everywhere. And we ended up selling that mare and getting another mare, and she's at RL Chartiers. So, but with school and we go pick her up and go on the weekends, and he'll go get some lessons. But summer's coming, and he's got this plan that we need to sell our place in Burleson and move to Weatherford. So when he's 16, he can stop by one place in the morning working horses and go help everybody in Weatherford. He's got it all mapped out. He's ready. Yeah.
And go ahead and uproot.
He's going to work for everybody. Yeah.
He'll really like it when he gets his driver's license and he can just drive over there.
Yeah. He thinks the day he turns 16, he's allowed to drive to Weatherford every day now. So, okay.
That's funny. What are some mentors? I ask everybody usually your top 3 mentors. And I think you've done different aspects in life, but you got the auction and becoming an auctioneer and opening your own auction business and roping and rodeoing and all that. And you can relate, I think, a lot of those things that you learn in different aspects, you can relate to other aspects of your life. But what are some of your top mentors you've had through your life?
Yeah, I mean, my dad would be my first one, and I've never seen a human being work as hard as that guy. I mean, I was always in good situations. The only child, of course. My mom said it's because of how I was. I told her it's because she couldn't do any better than what she got. But my dad just, I mean, I know days that he went and shod 20 horses, and I always had good horses. I always had entry fee money. I always had a truck and trailer. And just over the past few years, my dad's had several strokes and not in great health, but he's, it is what it is. So, but my mom and dad always put me in super good situations. The only bad situations I've ever been in are because I put myself there. Right. And so he would, I mean, just his work ethic and just the guy he is. I mean, he'd help anybody. We always had roping calves, and if you wanted to rope, just come on, we're gonna rope. And you need that bridle here. He had a plethora of bridles that I'll never, ever see again, because I don't know where all of them are at. And some of them are worth a lot of money nowadays. Yeah. And, but he's just a giver, giver of his time, and just a hardworking person. As far as the auction business goes, John Gary Collins if it wouldn't have been for him putting up with kind of taking me in and showing me a little bit of the ropes, I probably would be in the auction industry, but don't know in what facet. And he was a little bit of tough love too. He helped me a little bit, and then he'd be like, all right, now go, don't call me. I don't want to talk to you about it. Now go figure it out. And he made me go learn. Mm-hmm. And then 2 or 3 years later, come back and he's like, all right, now we can teach. Yeah. So, him and Randy Woodward, another good friend of mine, when I was in college at Vernon, I mean, I was on the phone with him every night after we'd get done practicing, talking about what auctioneers talk about, trying to figure out, how to get in this business.
What do y'all talk about? You go back and forth on your chance?
Yeah. I mean, literally for hours. And I find it comical now, but like I can pretty well imitate most everybody just because that's all we did. And a little bit of it was, out of funning around, but a lot, it allowed me to be adaptable.
Yeah.
I mean, and a reason I said that I don't know that I had that passion to rodeo like I did to be an auctioneer is because at night when I would go to bed, I would play the cut and futurity horse sale every single night on a VCR tape in my room. And I'd listen to Don Green, Justin Holmberg, and Steve Frisco. That's what I went to sleep at night. And I go back and think about that. I wasn't watching roping tapes. I wasn't watching, I watched the NFR, go rewind them to the, on the VCR back. We had VCRs back then, So, had I put as much time in or had the passion, maybe things would be different. But I'm so glad at what I found passionate because it's provided a really good living for my family and I. And I get to wake up and do something I enjoy every day. And so those would be two great mentors. And then kind of it's crazy how your mentors will change a little bit. And I've kind of had somebody come into my life the last year and a half, 2 years, and Wade Fisher, buddy of mine from down around College Station, and just I can bounce any idea I need to off of him, and he's one of the most brilliant-minded people. Most of my ideas are not great ones after we get done talking about them, but that's I guess another dynamic to growing up is how your mentors will change a little bit, and the things you chase are a little bit different now. And I just want to chase my time back, and all I want to do is be gone and see how many dates on my calendar I could fill up. How many times a year can I auctioneer? That used to be my goal. How many days a year did I work? My goal now is how many days a year did I work? And I want it to be as few as possible. So
right.
that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you progress, your goals change over time and what you're interested in. And I mean, luckily you did pursue auctioneering that you got to, it's very diverse. You can go do livestock and horses, equipment, cars, and it led you to hone that skill. And you're like, okay, now I can go start a business around it and hone all that. And then, like you said, work less, buy back your time, actually start a business around it instead of just trading time for money all the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What do you listen to? Do you listen to podcasts or audibles or anything like that?
No, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm a Pop 2K, go back to 07, 08, listen to whatever was going on in high school at that time. I graduated in 07. So that and highway country. I listen, I'll catch podcasts if they're, on a motivational type short or like a reel or something or on TikTok. That's where I'll listen to most of my podcast.
I like when I was listening to the Sirius all the time, it was Pop 2K and Pop Rocks right there, and then sometimes go back to the 90s on 9 and there's some good tunes. There's
still some of those country songs, and you smell hot dogs and think about the grand entry and getting ready to rope.
Brings back memories.
Oh goodness, great ones and not so great ones.
What about books? Are you a reader? Have you ever asked yourself why it costs so much to get paid? Hey everyone, this is a show that has a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners on, and the number one rule in business is to get paid, right? If you own a business, there's a good chance you're overpaying for credit card processing, and there's an even better chance that you're getting terrible customer service. At Diversified Payments, we make the payment process simple for both the customer and the business. Being based in Central Texas, we're able to offer business owners personal customer service while saving them money on their credit card processing fees. And we're the only payment company that I know of that's deeply rooted in the ranching and rodeo industries. If you think you're paying way too much in card processing fees, or you can't get in touch with your payment processor when there's an issue, go to diversifiedpayments.com/wealthycowboy.
I'm not. You let me sit down and which we don't get much time at home, but you let me sit down and get in bed or get in the recliner. I'll I'll get on a motivational. You know what I've been looking at on TikTok? I'm ready to run through a wall at about 11:30 at night, and I'm like, I can't do anything about this until in the morning.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to run through a wall with all these motivational speeches and stuff. But
maybe you need to change it and listen to that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. No, I get to drive in traffic to Dallas at first thing in the morning, so that's my morning music is the message, because I need that with driving into Dallas traffic every morning.
Yeah, that is a pain. I don't know how people live in big cities, especially like they said, LA is super bad. That pisses me off. I would rather go an hour out of the way to avoid traffic.
That's the way it's been. I mean, I go south to go north. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I try not to get on 35 leaving Burleson. I'll go to Alvarado and 67 and all the way around and backtrack, just because I know how fast I can go, and I don't have to stop near as much. So.
Yeah, even though you might drive be in the car longer, the truck longer, it seems like it goes by faster.
I'm in a lot better mood when I get to work.
To kind of put you on the spot, what's some of the best advice you've ever been told?
I've been told a lot. I just didn't listen to most of it when I should have. Man, actions speak louder than words. There's, and especially like in the auction industry, I mean, you can see a lot of things on TikTok or YouTube, or, some of the most popular people on there are not out doing it every day. They're talking about it, know, but, and I'm not a huge self-promoter. It's one thing I need to get better at. I know that. And I went to a business summit the end of last year and around some incredible guys, Bradley and Cody Spurberger, and I mean, just some guys that have built incredible wealth, all based off of self-promotion. And, but those guys are doers too. And those are all super intense people. If you leave there and you think, oh my goodness, I need to check myself.
Yeah.
Andy Elliott was there, made the poor guy get on stage, take his shirt off. I'm like, please don't ask me to get up there. Please do not make eye contact.
Yeah.
But actions speak louder than words. And just, if you think you want to do it, go spend the $399, get an LLC and get after it. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. And I mean, you just got to be a doer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's, we talk about it on several episodes. Like it's the bar is very low. If you just go try a little bit, I mean, you can succeed just because the bar is really low. And then just getting back to those people that have built big empires, they're not really self-promoting. They kind of just show what they do, because they're real, like you said.
And they're not scared to show what they do. And going back to the horse sale, like, people, what do I need to video? And like a buddy of mine that is cowboy, he's gonna sell some horses, and I'm like, you need to take somebody with you for like a week and just have them video everything you do. I'm not doing that. He said, trust me.
Yeah.
Just do it. I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
Why? I said, because you don't know, like, you never know what you're going to get into out there. Right. You never know when you're going to have to catch a cow. You can't go stage that and make it look right for a video. And then that's not telling the true story.
Yeah.
And he finally went and did it, and we sold a Gildan for a whole bunch of money, and he's like, I still feel stupid. I don't want to do that, but if we're going to do something, I film it now.
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going to get that opportunity I hire a guy and take him. Well, why would I do that? It's costing me money. I said, what's that video worth?
Right.
If you get the right video, what's that worth when you go to sell that horse?
I say that too all the time about being in that lifestyle, working cows and roping and doing all that stuff. There's cool stuff that happens all the time. There's cool things that get said, funny things. There's wild stuff happening all the time, It's just like, you never know. And sometimes, when you're in the moment, you're not going to pull your phone out and video it. But like you said, if somebody's there, I mean, you could go viral. You could sell a horse for a lot of money, whatever it is. And it could change your life. And
the old guys are going to make fun of you for doing it. I promise. And they should. But you never know what, like you said, I mean, if you get the right video that takes off, I mean, there's no telling what businesses you can create out of just one. I mean, a 30-second video can create unlimited opportunity.
Right. And I've tried to think, most people when they want to sell a horse, they're going to video, that day. They're going to set up a video day and lope circles or rope or whatever the deal is. But if you have videos, if you know you're going to sell this horse down the road, video as much as you can throughout and say, this is the first calf I roped on it. This is,
people would love to see that progression too. I mean, that's, you know, you never know. And it's so easy to film now. It's so easy to, I mean, yeah, I love high quality cameras when it's time to go sell a horse, but just having good relatable content is that can relate to people. Well, that's what I want to go do. I want to go catch a cow on this horse. Well, I wonder if you can. Well, I don't know because they didn't show me. I'm just going to guess I can or can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And you never, like, especially in your deal where it's a more of an online setup is, I mean, they can call and they can go see it and everything. But if you've got hours of video, I mean, you can, in different situations and not just a setup riding around in a circle or whatever. I mean, you can kind of judge what the horse is going to do.
Well, yeah, and just like you just said, hey, we're going to film this 3-year-old on this day at this time, have him ready. Well, how do you know that 3-year-old is going to be, one, to the best of his abilities, or it could be raining? The sun's not going to be right. I mean, if you don't limit yourself to one day to get all the content you need to come try to sell your horse for as much money as possible.
Right. What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, we eat out a lot. My favorite restaurant, we're almost done with the home renovation, so it's going to be my kitchen when we get this done in 3 to 4 weeks. I like Silver Fox in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It's right there by everything. I like it.
A lot of people have come in here and said that, and we still haven't ever been. So we're going to
I like the Silver Fox. I've had bills from there that I didn't like, but I like the food.
Yeah. We're going to have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
I think you're like 5th or 6th person probably say that.
Yeah.
Well, where can they find Platinum and you and everything?
Yeah. So Platinum Horse Sales is on Facebook and Instagram. And then Platinum Auction Group's on Facebook. You can look at us there, and we go to platinumhorsesales.com or platinumauctiongroup.bid. So we've got online platforms for both of those, and got some big changes coming to Platinum Auction Group. Going to be changing platforms, and we'll be offering financing on equipment here the next 30 to 45 days, and just trying to, give everybody an opportunity. If you're ready to purchase, but financing's not quite there yet, we're going to have an avenue for that also.
Cool. Just solving problems.
I've got plenty of my own I need to solve too. That's our goal. Solve everyone else's first.
So y'all go check out Cody. If you have questions on auctioneering, anything like that, check out Platinum. If you're in the market for a horse, keep up with the equipment auctions coming up. And y'all like and subscribe to the show and share it out. And we'll see you next time.